Before Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, there was Melvin Belli, a gold Rolls Royce-driving, cannon-firing, Jolly Roger-flying lawyer whose courtroom theatrics were as legendary as his victories. He made millionaires out of ordinary people, took on corporate giants, and defended Jack Ruby, the man who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, days after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. During his legal career, he won over $600 million in damages for his clients. Melvin Belli wasn't just a lawyer. He was a legal revolutionary. His life was a whirlwind of courtroom drama, celebrity friendships, and enough personal scandals to fill a tabloid. In this episode of Celebrity Afterlife, we remember the life of Melvin Belli and help to keep his memory alive. In the heart of California's gold rush country, amidst the rugged Sierra Nevada foothills, a legend was born. On July 29, 1907, in the storied town of Sonora, Melvin Belli entered the world, his lineage as rich and vibrant as the era that birthed him. Descended from Italian immigrants who carved their place in Swiss history, Belli's heritage was a tapestry woven with threads of resilience and ambition. His mother, Leonie, adorned him in the elegant garb of Little Lord Fauntleroy, while his father, Caesar, a prominent banker, made his mark in the Mother-Lode region. Belli's family tree boasted remarkable women, including his grandmother, Anna Moron, California's first female druggist, and his great-grandmother, Henry Moron, was a professor of languages and headmaster of a prestigious young ladies' seminary. The Roaring Twenties beckoned the Belli family to Stockton, a vibrant city nestled in California's fertile Central Valley. Here, young Melvin attended the now-vanished Stockton High School, a prelude to his colorful future. He emerged from the University of California, Berkeley, in 1929, not as a bookish recluse, but as a spirited adventurer. A grand tour of the world ignited his passions before he returned to Berkeley, this time to its hallowed halls of law. Earning his degree in 1933, Belli's university years were less defined by academic accolades and more by a taste for the extraordinary. Legend paints a portrait of a man who embraced life with gusto, a connoisseur of fine spirits, a daredevil who'd devour moths for a wager, and a whimsical character who once strolled the campus with a crab on a leash. Freshly admitted to the California bar, Melvin Belli embarked on a most unusual first assignment. Not one of polished courtrooms or dusty legal tomes, but a journey into the heart of the Great Depression's stark reality. For the Works Progress Administration, he traded his legal robes for the guise of a hobo, riding the rails, and bearing witness to the devastating impact of economic hardship on America's transient population. This first-hand immersion into the lives of the dispossessed would shape his understanding of justice and fuel his future advocacy for the underdog. When Melvin Belli first entered the legal arena, personal injury verdicts were a pittance, shockingly inadequate, and lagging far behind any reasonable measure of value for the most precious of all assets, the human body. Belli, a champion of justice, launched the tireless crusade to rectify this imbalance. Through rigorous academic studies, most notably his groundbreaking work, The Adequate Award, he meticulously demonstrated the stark disparity between existing verdicts and the true cost of human suffering and loss. He argued with compelling force that the scales of justice were tipped against the injured, their pain and diminished lives undervalued in the eyes of the law. But Belli didn't just write about justice. He lived it. He took his crusade on the road, a fiery evangelist for fair compensation, electrifying law schools and professional gatherings across the nation with his impassioned pleas for realistic verdicts. But his most potent weapon was the courtroom itself. There, He transformed his arguments into tangible victories, securing unprecedentedly large awards for a rising tide of individuals. The Davids facing Goliath of the corporate world, the government, and other entrenched powers. A fearless warrior, he never shied away from stepping on powerful toes. Barely out of law school, Melvin Belli secured his first major triumph, a personal injury case on behalf of an injured cable car gripman. Facing a phalanx of seasoned insurance lawyers, Belli employed a tactic as bold as it was brilliant. He didn't just describe the accident, he recreated it. This tangible demonstration, a visceral glimpse into the mechanics of the accident, allowed the jurors to understand the gripman's plight with unprecedented clarity. Melvin Belli's name became synonymous with dramatic courtroom flair through a series of high-profile cases. One such case involved a young woman whose leg had been tragically severed by a San Francisco trolley. When the trolley company dared to appeal the initial award, Belli orchestrated a courtroom spectacle that would become legend. He presented the jury with a package, a stark and undeniable reminder of the young woman's loss. Her artificial leg. The impact was undeniable. Not only did Belli win a second judgment, but it surpassed the original award, exceeding by far what was considered customary for such a devastating injury. Over the objections of his opponents, he brought the scene of the crime into the courtroom. A model of the fateful cable car intersection, along with the very gearbox and chain that had caused the injury. While his personal injury cases earned him the moniker as the King of Torts, Melvin Belli's influence extended far beyond the courtroom drama of individual suffering. He was a visionary, a pioneer who laid the groundwork for the modern consumer rights movement. In the 1940s, Belli argued groundbreaking cases that became the bedrock for future legal battles, including the landmark litigation championed by Ralph Nader. He wasn't just winning cases, he was building a foundation for a more just and equitable marketplace. In the landmark case of Escola versus Coca-Cola Bottling Company, 1944, a Merced, California waitress became a casualty of an exploding Coke bottle, an event that would reshape the landscape of product liability law. Melvin Belli, with his characteristic brilliance, argued that every product carries an implied warranty, a promise of safety that extends beyond the initial purchaser to anyone reasonably foreseen to use it. He asserted that proving negligence wasn't necessary when a defective product caused harm. From this pivotal case emerged the doctrine of strict liability, a cornerstone of consumer protection that holds manufacturers accountable for the safety of their products, regardless of fault. In the late 50s, Belli, alongside a cadre of equally dedicated plaintiffs' lawyers, took on giants like Southern Motors, Southern Pacific Railroad, TWA, and countless other behemoths, winning landmark cases that reverberated across the legal landscape. In his captivating book, Ready for the Plaintiff, Melvin Belli, the Maestro of Torts, unveils the legal strategies employed by personal injury attorneys like himself to achieve justice in the courtroom. He shares compelling examples from the trenches of legal battles, including the story of a Florida colleague who exposed a builder's egregious violation of Miami Beach's building code. The builder, in a reckless disregard for safety, had used wooden shims in the construction of exterior walls, a practice expressly forbidden due to the corrosive effects of salt air and ocean spray. The facade, a heavy slab of vitreous marble, its adhesion weakened by the relentless climate, eventually succumbed to the elements, crashing down and injuring an unsuspecting passerby. The ensuing lawsuit served as a stark reminder that even seemingly minor infractions can have devastating consequences. The swinging 60s saw Melvin Belli at the forefront of a movement that would forever alter the balance of power in the courtroom. He was a driving force behind the creation of the California Trial Lawyers Association, an organization that, decades later, would become the Consumer Attorneys of California. By establishing rigorous standards and fostering ongoing legal education, the association empowered consumers, giving them a fighting chance against the entrenched power of those who often stood as defendants in accident, personal injury, and other consumer lawsuits. Melvin Belli's relentless crusade against corporations peddling dangerous products found its most potent expression in his decades-long war against the tobacco industry. For years, he was a lone gladiator, David facing a Goliath of immense wealth and power, enduring a string of pre-trial defeats and defense victories. But Belli's spirit was indomitable. He persevered, case after case, until he orchestrated a monumental alliance. Partnering with a consortium of law firms, each contributing $100,000, he amassed a war chest that finally allowed him to match Big Tobacco, lawyer for lawyer, dollar for dollar. This Herculean effort ultimately brought the tobacco giants to their knees, culminating in a multi-billion-dollar settlement with attorneys general across the country. A landmark victory for public health, and a testament to Belli's unwavering commitment to justice. In what would become his most infamous case, Melvin Belli stepped into the white-hot spotlight of history, representing Jack Ruby pro bono after Ruby's shocking assassination of Lee Harvey Oswald. Belli, a master strategist, sought to demonstrate Ruby's legal insanity, delving into his family history to uncover a pattern of mental illness. But despite Belli's formidable efforts, the jury delivered its verdict on Saturday, March 14, 1964. Murder with malice, a conviction that carried the weight of a death sentence. The ink on the conviction was barely dry when Jack Ruby and his siblings, who had cycled through legal counsel like a revolving door, promptly dismissed Belli. But the legal drama was far from over. In late 1966, Ruby's conviction was overturned, the court citing a lack of fair trial. A retrial was ordered, to be held outside the charged atmosphere of Dallas. But fate intervened. Before the retrial could commence, Ruby succumbed to cancer, taking his secrets with him to the grave. In the wake of this tumultuous case, Belli became a vocal critic of FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, adding another layer of intrigue to this already sensational chapter in American history. In 1969, a chilling voice pierced the airwaves. A man claiming to be the elusive serial killer known only as the Zodiac contacted San Francisco police, offering a macabre bargain. He would call into Jim Dunbar's morning television talk show, AM San Francisco, if Melvin Belli or famed attorney F. Lee Bailey were present. A tense collaboration ensued. Police, desperate to apprehend the killer, reached out to Belli and Dunbar to orchestrate this unprecedented encounter. As promised, the mysterious caller materialized, his voice briefly echoing across the airwaves before abruptly disconnecting. This unsettling ritual repeated itself 54 times over the next 2 hours, a tantalizing dance between a predator and the authorities. That same year, Belli received a chilling letter from the Zodiac, a tangible reminder of the killer's chilling presence. Belli's courtroom victories continued to mount, each one a testament to his unwavering commitment to justice. He secured a staggering $19 million settlement for the families of American servicemen, tragically lost in a 1986 Newfoundland plane crash. He won a $32 million judgment against California crematoriums that had desecrated human remains, a case that shocked the nation. By 1987, Belli estimated he had won over $350 million for his clients, the vast majority of whom were everyday people, the ordinary citizens whose lives had been disrupted by extraordinary circumstances. But Belli's reach extended beyond the common man. He also represented some of the most luminous names in entertainment, including Errol Flynn, Mae West, Lana Turner, and the iconic comedian Lenny Bruce, demonstrating his versatility and his willingness to fight for justice, regardless of his client's stature. Even in the twilight of his illustrious 60-year career, Melvin Belli's hunger for justice remained undiminished. He continued to secure monumental verdicts, taking on some of the most powerful institutions in the world. He battled the Navy on behalf of women who endured sexual harassment at the infamous tailhook conventions of 1990 and 1991. He fought for the victims of the Korean Airlines Flight 007 tragedy, the Kansas City Hyatt Walkway collapse, and the devastating MGM Grand Hotel fire in Las Vegas. He championed the cause of children born with birth defects due to the Benedictine case, and the victims of the Bhopal Union Carbide disaster. Perhaps most astonishingly, he took on the regime of Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos, ultimately recovering a staggering $2 billion for citizens who had been killed or tortured, a testament to his unwavering commitment to justice, no matter the scale or the adversary. Even the mighty can stumble. In December 1995, Melvin Belli's formidable law firm, a titan of legal battles, unexpectedly filed for bankruptcy protection. The catalyst? Belli's representation of 800 women in a class action lawsuit against breast implant manufacturer Dow Corning. He won the hard-fought legal victory, but Dow Corning's subsequent bankruptcy left Belli in a precarious position. The $5 million his firm had advanced to doctors and expert witnesses, essential to the case's success, became unrecoverable. A stark reminder that even the most celebrated legal triumphs can have unforeseen consequences. Flamboyant was the word most often used to describe Melvin Belli, and it's easy to see why. A striking presence, clad in impeccably tailored Savile Row suits and European boots, he commanded attention wherever he went, often cruising the streets of San Francisco in his gleaming gold Rolls Royce. Belli himself readily embraced this image. Even a priest, he quipped, needs to ring the bell to fill the church. Melvin Belli's Montgomery Street law office was less a place of legal austerity and more akin to a lavish Victorian bordello, a testament to his vibrant personality. And his celebrations were as legendary as his courtroom victories. After a successful case, Belli would hoist a Jolly Roger flag above his office building in San Francisco's Barbary Coast district, a building he claimed had once been a gold rush-era brothel, to punctuate the triumph with the resounding boom of a cannon mounted on the roof, announcing to the world both his victory and the impending revelry. Melvin Belli never hid his penchant for revelry, particularly his close friendship with the swashbuckling Errol in Like Flynn Flynn. A renowned party host, Belli and Flynn were known for their spirited escapades, fueled by copious amounts of alcohol, and accompanied by a bevy of women, some of whom may have been underage. Belli's larger-than-life persona extended to even more outlandish acts. He famously listed his dog in the San Francisco phone book, and in one particularly audacious move, brought a speaker to a bar association meeting whom he introduced as an expert on tax evasion. The speaker? None other than the notorious gangster and tax evader himself, Mickey Cohen. When accusations arose of an intimate relationship with a client, the heiress to the Eli Lilly fortune, Melvin Belli readily admitted to the indiscretion. However, ever the showman, he shrugged off the controversy with a characteristic quip. It shouldn't be a problem. I didn't bill her for the hours. Accusations of ambulance chasing dogged Belli throughout his career. His response, characteristically sharp and witty, was, "Not true. I always got there before the ambulance." Melvin Belli's influence extended beyond the courtroom and into the world of cinema. He served as executive producer of Tokyo File 212, 1951, a film that made history as Hollywood's first full-length feature to be shot entirely in Japan. This groundbreaking cinematic endeavor showcased the talents of Florence Marley and Robert Payton in leading roles. Melvin Belli was no stranger to the silver screen or the television spotlight, often relishing his appearances in both. In a 1965 interview with Alex Haley for Playboy magazine, Belli confessed that, had fate taken a different turn, he might have been an actor, a testament to his undeniable flair for the dramatic. Melvin Belli's theatrical talents weren't confined to the courtroom. He graced the small screen in a memorable appearance on the original Star Trek series, in the 1968 episode, And the Children Shall Lead. Belli, in a delightful twist of casting, portrayed Gorgon the Friendly Angel, a malevolent entity who corrupts a group of innocent children. Adding a personal touch to the episode, one of the corrupted youngsters was played by none other than Belli's own son, Caesar. Melvin Belli's larger-than-life persona transcended the courtroom and ventured into the realm of rock and roll history. He was prominently featured in the Maysles Brothers' gripping 1970 documentary, Gimme Shelter, a film that captured the raw and chaotic energy surrounding the Rolling Stones' infamous Altamont Free concert on December 6, 1969. Belli, serving as both legal counsel and a key facilitator for the event, found himself a central figure in this tragic chapter of music history, his presence immortalized in this iconic piece of documentary filmmaking. Melvin Belli's acting talents weren't limited to Star Trek. In 1986, he stepped back into the courtroom, not as himself, but as a criminal defense lawyer in an episode of the TV series Hunter, titled True Confessions. This time, however, the courtroom was a Hollywood set, and Belli was playing a role, showcasing his versatility and ease in front of the camera. In 1996, at San Francisco's historic Old First Church, Melvin Belli lent his resonant voice to a powerful artistic collaboration. He recited Mark Twain's chilling anti-war masterpiece, The War Prayer, set to a dramatic brass fanfare composed by David Woodard. This performance, a fusion of literary brilliance and musical intensity, offered a poignant reflection on the human cost of conflict, amplified by Belli's captivating delivery. Melvin Belli's dramatic life story has even been immortalized on the silver screen. In the 2007 film Zodiac, Brian Cox brought Belli to life, recreating the tense and unsettling scene of Belli's on-air confrontation with the Zodiac suspect during the San Francisco television broadcast. Even the world of punk rock paid homage to Melvin Belli's larger-than-life persona. Santiago Durango, the guitarist for the influential band Big Black, adopted Belli's name as a pseudonym on their final studio album. This was a nod to Durango's post-Big Black plans to trade his guitar for legal tomes and embark on a career in law, inspired, perhaps, by the legendary King of Torts himself. Melvin Belli wasn't just a legal titan. He was a prolific author, leaving behind a legacy of over 60 books. Among his literary achievements, the monumental 6-volume Modern Trials, published between 1954 and 1960, stands as a cornerstone of legal education, a classic textbook on the art of presenting evidence through compelling demonstrations. Belli's innovative, and at times controversial, use of graphic evidence and expert witnesses, once considered unorthodox, ultimately became standard practice in courtrooms across the nation, a testament to his lasting impact on the legal profession. Melvin Belli's life story, a tapestry woven with threads of courtroom drama and legal innovation, is chronicled in his autobiography, My Life on Trial. This captivating memoir offers a first-hand account of the remarkable events that shaped his career and the indelible mark he left on the legal profession. Beyond his personal narrative, Belli also lent his expertise to other authors. He penned the introduction to The Whiplash Injury by L. Ted Frigga, D.C., published in 1970, a testament to the chiropractic care that had eased Belli's own pain. Furthermore, in collaboration with John Karlova, Belli authored Belli for Your Malpractice Defense, a practical guide designed to help doctors navigate the treacherous waters of medical malpractice and avoid legal pitfalls. Melvin Belli's personal life was as colorful and dramatic as his legal career. He was married 6 times and divorced 5. His first marriage, to Betty Ballantini, spanned 18 years and produced 4 children, but ultimately ended in divorce in 1951. 6 months later, he exchanged vows with Tony Nichols, a magazine photographer, a union that lasted a mere 3 years before also dissolving. At this point, a seemingly disillusioned Belli declared, "From now on, I shall live with Blackstone. Women are out," a pronouncement that hinted at a retreat from the complexities of romantic entanglements. But the allure of romance proved too strong to resist. In 1956, Belli married Joy Turney, a former airline hostess, and they welcomed a son before their eventual divorce. Then, in 1966, Belli embarked on a decidedly unconventional path to matrimony. He and socialite Pat Montandon, a TV personality and later a columnist, celebrated their union with a vibrant Shinto ceremony in Japan. However, their exotic nuptials lacked the necessary legal paperwork, and the marriage was quickly annulled, adding another colorful chapter to Belli's ever-evolving personal life. Melvin Belli's 5th marriage, to the much younger Leah Georgia Triff, began in 1972 when he was 65. And she was just 23. But this union, like its predecessors, was destined for a dramatic and bitter end. The divorce proceedings, finalized in 1991, were a tabloid sensation, rife with scandalous accusations. Belli accused his ex-wife of an affair with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and the unthinkable act of throwing one of his beloved dogs off the Golden Gate Bridge. His own behavior was hardly exemplary. He was fined $1,000 for repeatedly referring to her as El Trampo, and, in a fit of courtroom fury, was ejected for accusing the judge of sleeping with his former wife's lawyer. The final act of this messy drama? Belli was compelled to pay his ex-wife an estimated $15 million. Leah Georgia Triff's life took a royal turn when she later wed Romanian Prince Paul. From his tumultuous marriage to Leah emerged his youngest child Malia, who carved her own path to distinction, becoming an accomplished art history scholar, and currently serving as an assistant professor of Asian art history at the University of Texas at Arlington. Meanwhile, Melvin Belli, never one to shy away from new beginnings, exchanged vows with his 6th wife, Nancy Ho, on March 29, 1996. On July 9, 1996, at the age of 88, the curtain fell on the extraordinary life of Melvin Belli. In his San Francisco home, surrounded by the quiet comfort of his wife, Nancy Ho Belli, he succumbed to complications from pancreatic cancer. His death, as sudden as it was poignant, was described by his publicist Edward Lozzi to the New York Times in simple yet powerful words. He was sitting. He just stopped breathing. It was a quiet ending to a life lived at full volume, a final unexpected stillness after a lifetime of dramatic pronouncements and legal battles. Melvin Belli left behind a rich tapestry of life, survived by 3 sons, 3 daughters, 12 grandchildren, and 2 canine companions. He was eulogized as an impresario of a lawyer, a legal innovator who pioneered groundbreaking techniques and secured monumental settlements in personal injury cases. a man forever linked to the defense of Jack Ruby, the man who silenced Lee Harvey Oswald. He rests in peace in Oddfellows Cemetery, more on plot, Row 3 Plot 15, in Sonora, California, the very town where his remarkable journey began. Melvin Belli, the most famous lawyer in America, had come home. Thanks so much for tuning into today's video. I post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to catch every episode where we dive into the Celebrity Afterlife.